Hey everyone, this is Kirk here again at OptionAlpha.com, where we show you how to make smarter trades. In tonight's video update, I want to go through the closing and opening trades that we had for the last 2 days, for Tuesday, February 7th, also Wednesday, February 8th. Just as a reminder, sometimes when we have just one closing trade for the day, like we did yesterday and Tuesday, we just don't go through the whole process of doing a video update for that closing trade. We'll always do a video update for new opening trades and adjusting trades, but in the case of Kors, K-O-R-S, we just have one closing trade, a single leg option, so I'm not going to go through the whole process of doing a video update on that, obviously, but I'm going to cover it tonight. We did have a loss of $190. I think for a brief second it was showing like a $100 profit on there, or $190 profit, but that was an error in the software, so it's definitely corrected, and obviously I'm here to tell you guys that we did, in fact, have a loss. We went ahead and closed out of the put side only shortly after the market opened. And basically what happened here with Kors, Michael Kors is the ticker symbol for that one. What happened here is that the stock just made a bigger move than expected. Now, look, if you actually waited during the day, you got better pricing than us. You probably actually got out at maybe even a profit, and even today you got out a profit. I would have loved to roll this thing to the next month. That's the standard adjustment technique that we go through, but at least at the time that we got out of it, when the stock was continuing to move lower, rolling didn't give us a credit. So we ended up taking a $190 loss on this. It is what it is. We'll keep, obviously moving on, and the trades that we've already made and other things have more than covered that. New trade today that we got into on February 8th, OIH. This is one of the ETFs in the oil market here. It's actually one of the higher IV rank ones, even though it's only at about 17, but still implied volatility has been on the rise here in OIH. It ended the day at 17. It was actually much higher than that earlier, around like 25, 30 or so. So it did end the day lower implied volatility, but we did get a buy signal using the technical analysis indicators from our signals report, which is good because that gives us an idea that either the thing is going to stop moving lower or start to trade sideways to maybe potentially higher. It's not always that it turns around. And we saw that actually today. As soon as it flashed that buy signal, we only had that buy signal for, I don't know, maybe 2 hours, 3 hours or so, and actually turned around today. Now, of course, will it continue to turn around? Who knows, right? But we did a good job as far as getting into the position and spreading it into the 32 strikes, which were the neutral strike that we had at the time. So when the stock was actually trading around 31.5, we did the 32 strikes to be a little bit bullish and tilt. Nothing more than just like picking either the 31s or 32s. That ended up working out well because the stock obviously rallied up towards that way. So it's actually a little bit higher now, but everything is centered around 32. That's where we want this to be at the end of expiration, at least for this position in USO. We do plan on getting into much more in USO, maybe one or two more spreads here, and just to kind of spread out the risk over time. And so I think just leaving some room here to be able to do that is going to be a smart thing. And obviously we'll keep laddering into these positions, but we went ahead and did basically a $5 wide spread on each side, took in a decent premium, just trying to stay active here. We did have some closing trades today. FXE, we went ahead and closed out of another set of our iron butterflies. Again, just buying back the inside straddle, which is the 103 call and 103 put. The outside legs are not worth much, so they're not worth anything to close out. They're worth about a penny a piece. So we're just going to leave those on. But overall, in this spread, just the spread that we closed out of, we took a $240 profit, taking this thing off right around our profit target. Look, FXE has been another poster boy, case study, just like TLT, as far as just movement, creating opportunity, as far as laddering into positions, etc. Right? And so this has been a really, really good opportunity for us to get into some things that obviously have, moved favorably and, continue to build our position here. We obviously have a position in FXE for next month, which is good. I want to show you what the position looks like for February so you can kind of get an idea of where things are. So this is the February position that we have left in FXE. So it's right on the edge here of starting to dip into the negative territory for the position that's left. Obviously, we've closed out a lot of things. We've got some long legs that are just acting as lottery tickets now. But what we'll start to do is potentially roll up our put spread side on the 100 puts and roll those closer up. So if you go into the actual trade tab here and you can see where we have our position in February, you can see we're short these 100 puts, which are not really worth too much money. So my thought process here is we'll probably roll these up, depending on what happens tomorrow. Obviously, we might roll these up either tomorrow or Friday and move them a little bit closer, taking a little bit more premium and just try to kind of balance this thing out here. We're actually, I mean, we're at the point now where, you know, we're down about 45 bucks on the remaining position that's here. So if we get some good decay tomorrow and not too much of movement in FXE, I mean, we may just even close out the position because we're so close to expiration, and we've made a ton of money on the other legs that we've closed out of so far. So we'll just take it day by day, obviously. As far as EWW goes, we went ahead and closed out of the whole spread here in this case. It's just how our working order got in there. We obviously place these orders and, you know, are contingent upon hitting certain profit targets. And so it got beyond that. You know, the order got placed, obviously, and got filled pretty quickly. We could have easily left the long legs on to expire, but we did get a little bit of premium out of them, at least in my case with commissions. I ended up, you know, covering commissions and making, you know, a couple dollars on those. So it made sense at least for us to go ahead and buy those back and close those out. So overall, with EWW on this leg or this set of iron butterflies, we took a profit of 216. We do still have, like FXE, some remaining EWW position, or one remaining EWW position in February. This is the 42 iron butterfly, kind of right over the market. And so we're a little bit down on this position, obviously taking the one off from today. Again, what we'll try to do maybe today, tomorrow, or the next day is roll up our puts, in this case, go a little bit inverted, but take in some credit and kind of help cover this position a little bit more. At least give us an opportunity that if it moves back down, we have an opportunity to, you know, kind of recover some of what this particular position has lost. But generally, it's been a good month trading a lot of these iron condors. I mean, look, we know that these things backtest really well in low volatility. That's why you guys are seeing me do a lot of them. I know people have been asking questions about them, which is great. But the reason that we're doing a lot of them is because they just backtest really well in low volatility, and they've been doing really good January and February for us. So that's been great. Just as a side note, we have been trying to get into a couple extra positions that really got canceled today that we tried to get into. We tried to open up some more TLT. We tried to close out of, or these were the other orders that we were just trying pricing wise. But we did try to get into TLT. We were looking at some FXE and building into that position as well. So it's not for a lack of trying that we're getting into positions, but we're also just being patient with, you know, getting some certain pricing that we're kind of looking for, and just, you know, not taking anything that the market gives us. So we'll continue to monitor positions, obviously earnings trades, etc., and let you guys know if we do anything. So as always, if you could, please help me by just adding comments right below the video and tonight's video update. This helps keep things organized for me. And as always, happy trading.